Hi, I'm Fraser Douglas, and I've been an avid tent camper for almost 55 years now. And this is my wife, Ava, who has joined me on over 50 camping trips over the past 11 years, and who has taken many of the photos that you see in this video and other videos. We're camped in the Greenbrier campground near Gatlinburg in the Smoky Mountains, and we've had some pretty warm weather for the last 3 days, but last night it has been raining heavy, and you can hear the rain is still raining very hard right now. Ava and I just woke up, and we're still in the tent, and we're talking about what we want to do for today's activities. In this video, I want to tell you what sorts of things we do for fun when we go camping in both sunny weather and in rainy weather. We've got the remnants of Tropical Storm Fred coming through the area, and it looks like it's going to rain hard all day long, but we'll find some things to do for fun so we're not stuck in the tent all day. Hope you enjoy this video. We left our home at 5 a.m. Friday morning and arrived in Sevierville at 11 in the morning. The first thing that we did is we stopped at the Smoky Mountains Knife Works where we saw this tent set up, and then we went to the Cherokee Trading Post where we bought some moccasins. Then we drove to Pigeon Forge where we ate lunch at the Old Mill Restaurant. It's great food, and they give you way too much. Then we drove to the Greenbrier campground and set up our camp in tent site number 100. If you want to get more details about how we set up our camp, check out the video that was posted just before this one. It was very hot on Friday, and so after we set up camp, we went down to the river and cooled off for a while. Then we came back to the campsite and ate a little snack and relaxed for a while. We were very happy to see that the Gatlinburg trolley was coming back to the campground several times a day, and we hoped to be able to ride it into Gatlinburg one day during our trip, but that never worked out. And at dark, we carried our chairs over to the activity field and watched the free movie, A League of Their Own. Saturday morning, we slept late and finally got up and cooked a big breakfast of bacon, pancakes, and a lot of fresh fruit. Then we slowly drove through Gatlinburg and enjoyed seeing all of the people out on the streets. And then we drove into the national park, where our first stop was the Sugarland Visitor Center. We were sad to see a long line to get in the front door, and later to learn that the movie and the museum were both closed. The only thing that was open was the souvenir shop. Then we drove up to the Chimney Tops trailhead. I was anxious to hike a little bit of the trail, but knew I couldn't do the whole 3.5 miles out and back. Water's coming down from the mountain. We're on this bridge. And there it goes. The climb back up to the parking lot got my heart rate up pretty high. Then we decided to drive to our old favorite campground, the Elkmont campground, and get an ice cream. But we were very sad to see that the store had changed hands. The ice cream machine was broken and there was no ice cream available. All of the bathrooms were closed because of sewage problems, and campers had to use porta pots. The campground was not as neat and clean as it used to be, and there were few campers there. So we just drove through the campground and took a few photos of some 6-person tents that were set up there, and this unusual rooftop tent. Then we drove to Pigeon Forge for a wonderful meal and show at the Pirate's Voyage. Sunday was another hot day. We got up pretty early and cooked a big breakfast of sausage, scrambled eggs, fried potatoes, and toast. Ava was rinsing our dishes. She's washed them and now she's rinsing them. And then we walked over to the pavilion for Sunday morning religious services. They always give us hope and lift our spirits during these difficult times. We had decided to drive to Townsend for the afternoon, but on the way we decided to drive through Gatlinburg again and enjoy looking at all the people and activities. After Gatlinburg, we drove about 20 miles through the park and enjoyed seeing the beautiful Smoky Mountains. In Townsend, we went to the Great Smoky Mountains Heritage Center, but were sad to learn that many of the old log cabins in the museum were closed because a bear had been harassing visitors over the last few days. But we enjoyed seeing the beautiful building, hanging out for a while, seeing some of the exhibits, and this one log cabin that was still open. And we enjoyed seeing the beautiful mountains around Townsend. Then we drove back to Gatlinburg and had a wonderful trout dinner at the Trout House. And finally we drove back to the campground and played a game of dominoes before getting our showers and going to bed. We play World Championship Domino Tournament rules, and Ava usually beats me about 2 out of every 3 games. Monday was another hot day. We ate a light breakfast and then Ava went fishing, and I just hung around the campsite repairing some gear and working on some videos. After a few hours, Ava returned to our camp with this one nice trout, which we cleaned and cooked and ate. It was absolutely delicious. Monday afternoon, we just hung around the campground and enjoyed talking with several of our neighbors. We were told that a bear frequently visited the campground and stole food from campers that left it out, but I thought we were pretty safe because we always kept our food in the back of our car. But Monday night I opened the liftgate of our car to get something and forgot that it was open for about an hour. Fortunately, the bear did not come to our campsite. Every night here has been cool, but Monday night, Tuesday morning was exceptionally cool because Tropical Storm Fred had entered the area. It's been raining hard all night long, and so I thought I would show you the top of our tent, all the leaves that have fallen during the night. The inside of our tent was dry, and the inside of the kitchen canopy was dry, but between the 2 tents was a small lake. And so we decided to drive into Gatlinburg and eat breakfast at Crockett's. After breakfast, we walked the streets of Gatlinburg for a couple of hours until I got tired, and then decided to drive back to the campground. Rather than spending the afternoon in our small tent or in our small kitchen canopy, we decided to go over to the pavilion and play some dominoes.
Tuesday we had lots of rain, almost 24 hours of rain. But I'm nice and dry inside this pavilion, And there's our campsite just across the road. This is where we had our church services on Sunday.
Ava and I played dominoes for about 2 hours and enjoyed listening to the rain. She beat me 2 out of 3 games. Then our neighbors came over and we enjoyed talking with them for a couple more hours. It rained all Tuesday night but began to let up early Wednesday morning. So Ava decided to try to catch a few more trout. She fished for about 4 hours but was only able to get 1 small trout. She threw 2 back and she had a big one that broke her line. Ironically, later in the evening, our neighbor told us that he had met a man who caught a fish that had another hook in its mouth. Wonder if it was Ava's fish. Well, anyway, we cleaned that little trout and cooked it up, and it was delicious, but it only whetted my appetite for trout. So we drove to the trout house for another wonderful trout dinner. Every night during our trip, an ice cream truck drove through our campground around 9 or 9:30, and it was always after we had brushed our teeth and were getting ready for bed. But on the last night, we decided we were going to have an ice cream, and we enjoyed it before going to bed. Thursday was the day we had to pack up and drive home, but guess what? More rain. We packed in a hurry, but everything still got wet. Unfortunately, we didn't take any photos at the campground, but Ava snapped a few as we drove out of the Gatlinburg area and through the Pigeon Forge area. Well, that's a pretty good summary of our activities during our 6-day camping trip. Hope that you've enjoyed seeing some of the various different fun things we've done, and hope that you'll watch more of the videos. For more information about fun things to do on a family camping trip, please visit my website, moderntentcamping.com. A link is provided in the description below. And also visit my Facebook page, Modern Tent Camping. Thanks for watching.